All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the core skill discussion. So, core skills are just stuff that all characters start with: cardio, wits, fighting, and shooting, and they can be specialized into. And you only get a choice of two of them of these specializations. If you don't like any of the choices you get, you go to the mysterious wandering trader, if I remember correctly. You buy their skill book for that, and then when you use that skill book on that character, they get access. Even if you already chose like a resourcefulness or discipline or something in wits, they get access to the ability to respec, and they can choose any one of the four at any one of the four. They're no longer limited to only one of two of them choices, two of the choice. So let's start out with cardio because it's the first one. Now, cardio is kind of special on the specialization because you always have a choice of marathon. As when you're first picking, you get a choice of one of the others, but you always have the choice of marathon to start with. And I'll go over that in a moment. So let's talk about cardio. Cardio improves the survivor's maximum stamina and leads to the advanced athletic skills. It can be improved by running and climbing. You can also start cardio training regimens in Fighting Gym 2 or watch training videos Lounge 3 to improve entire community's cardio. You get +3 at level 1, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Increases by 3 every time. Or 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. Yeah, 3 every time. Just had to do some figuring in my head to make sure. Some survivors might have their cardio capped below level 7 because of a negative trait. These limitations can't be bypassed, thus they can't specialize their cardio. They are the following. So if you wish to, you can expand the traits, and you can look at everything that would make it where they can't do it. So if you see somebody you want to recruit to your community and they cannot get level 7 cardio to specialize, it's because they have one of these traits right here. So just do be careful about that. Okay, and then we have the general specialty. Once you reach level 7 on any skill, you can specialize a skill. There are 4 general specializations you are able to pick from: marathon, acrobatics, backpacking, and powerhouse. The variable specializations are determined by a couple things. Marathon is available for everyone, like I said, unless one of your survivor's traits blocks it. Some traits can also guarantee the availability of a specialization. In case your survivor doesn't have any traits guaranteeing advanced specialization, the game will randomly unlock one of them. Use wisely. You won't be able to specialize the skill unless you purchase a physical training manual from a mysterious wandering trader, which only appears on the weekend. And while it lets you pick any of the 4 spec, it also resets your skill progress and gives your survivor a negative trait, physically trained, which gives them a -66% cardio experience rate debuff, making leveling up their cardio a much slower process. So there is a trade-off. Training manuals can only be used if their cardio is already specialized, so you have to specialize before you can use the manual. And then here is the one everybody gets. It's sprinting costs less stamina and fatigue occurs more. That's basically just base. That's why it's the base one, and you can always shoot when you're starting out. So this is here. When you get to level 7, the free unique thing is you can sprint for free when lightly encumbered, as long as you're marathon level 7. And there are traits that can provide marathon, so you always have that as a choice. And then you have traits that block marathon, so you never see it as a choice. And then we have acrobatics. Dodging and climbing are quicker and cost less stamina. Flying strike attack unlocked. So you can dodge turbo roll at level 7, which means sprint and then push the dodge key. You can reduce your fall damage at all levels. And you have the flying strike when facing an enemy, which is turbo and jump, which is your which for me is the X key. I'm not sure what it is for other people. That may be space for y'all, but I put dodge as space for me and X as my jump because I dodge more than I jump in the game. So it just depends on what your key is that you push to do this. And then you can guarantee it, of course, and providing it already for your survivor. And then we have backpacking, major increase to carrying capacity. It gives you max stamina, max carrying capacity of plus 15 and plus 30 at level 7. And then at level 7, you get 1 extra inventory slot. So you actually, the inventory slots are actually the 3 top ones. Think of them like your pockets. It's not your backpack. It's your actual character's inventory slots. So they usually have 3. This will give them 4, and then you have 8 backpack inventory slots at the most slots you can have on a backpack. So this just gives you 1 extra inventory slot, which is very, very nice. You can hold something extra like ammunition, if you will, there. Most characters only have 2. Some of them have 3. So the 2 will go to 3 and the 3 will go to 4. And then we have the powerhouse, which is the heavy weapons deal. It can be guaranteed traits. Some traits provide specs. When its power sense updates its main skill for using heavy weapons. Powerhouse provides the following benefits. Note, drop kicking ferals will knock them down, allowing you to execute them. So an easy way to kill ferals, if you can hit them with the drop kick. It's very hard to hit though. You get max stamina of plus 21 at all levels. Your grapple stamina cost, where you hold a zombie, which I haven't done in game yet. It's bound to my middle mouse button, so if I wish to, I can just push that to grapple a zombie. You can only grapple a zombie from the back. Do not try grappling a zombie from the front. It will not work. And then we have, it's a 25% reduction and then 50% reduction. When you're grappling a zombie, your stamina drains, and this just reduces the drain. Melee stamina cost, so your melee weapons do not cost as much. This is what's great for heavy weapons here. Execute standing enemies with a heavy weapon. If you have a heavy weapon equipped, you can just push E right in front of an enemy. You can be facing them. You don't have to be at the back of them. At level 7, you just execute that enemy. You knock them down and then swing your weapon around and decapitate them or bash their head in if you have a blunt. You can actually, with Powerhouse, you can grapple enemies from the front at level 7, so you no longer have to go around the back to grapple enemies. That's kind of why I'm kind of missing it really hard, because I'm used to grappling with enemies from the front at certain points. Power hit with heavy weapon, you hold your melee attack. This is a big thing for your heavy weapons. This is what allows you to do pretty much solo plague hearts with a heavy weapon. It will take, depending on the difficulty, it can take up to like 4 hits with your heavy weapon to do that. We'll eventually, I'm hoping to get somebody with Powerhouse so I can show this off in the game. If I eventually just get to the point where it's near end game and we're about to go do the legacy quest to show that off, I will probably just, hopefully by then the community editor will be out, and I'll just probably edit someone to give them Powerhouse so I can show that off to you. Drop kick without a heavy weapon. If you don't have a heavy weapon equipped, you can just hit turbo plus jump, which is sprint plus jump button. And then throw zombies harder is grapple and then throw. Throw is usually, I'm not mistaken, your just your dodge key when you're grappling. There. And then you have the unique specializations, which we'll go over later. This all comes from, like this one comes from Heartland only. This comes from Red Talon contractors. You can recruit Red Talons for your community, and they have kind of a specialization skills and everything like that. We'll talk all about them later on. So that is our cardio. And then we have wits, which is a second skill of the game. And this gives us search speed, when looting containers and leads to advanced mental skills. It can be improved by searching containers and stealth killing the zombies. You can also start wits training regimens with shooting range 2 or watch training videos of lounge 3. It is unknown whether the plus 50% search speed for level 1 is intentional or a mistake, because at level 1, if you don't have any other deal, you only get, you go back down to 10% search speed. At level 2, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. But right now, nobody, I don't know if this has been fixed yet or not. You have a 50% search speed if you have level 1 wits. But you're gonna eventually just level out of that, so you can't stop it. Some survivors might have their wits capped below level 7 because of a legated trait, so be aware of that. And then we have stealth, discipline, resourcefulness, and scouting. And it's the same thing. You go and find the mental training manual to specialize either or other ways if you can't get what you need. Quicker sneaking, quieter interactions, and reduced ability to enemies are stealth. So you can get plus 35% extra search speed on top of your already 35% search speeds from level 7. So you get a total of 70% search speed at all levels once you get to stealth. Enemy sight range is minus 35%, so enemies can't find you as easy. Chance of search crash is minus 50%. I need to give a quick thing here. The chance of search crash once you reach level 7 is 100%. The community is not listed here, but the community doesn't know if it's a bug, but it's been in the game for pretty much forever. Once you hit stealth level 7, you can fast search and you will never crash. It's never happened to anybody. I don't know if I don't think they have fixed it or anything. Like I said, it's been in the game forever. It's just, even though it's in the game files, it's listed as a minus 50%, but when you play the game, it's actually 100%. You will never crash. Then you have the quick stealth kills, which is you just grapple someone from the back and melee attack at the same time, and you automatically kill them at level 7. You can sprint while crouched at all levels, so that is nice. And then you can silently open locked doors. I've talked about that in the gameplay video, where you just crouch in front of a door and then interact with it, and it opens it even if it's locked. Then we have the discipline, which increases our stamina, light encumbrance limit, and weapon durability. So we get a 35% search speed. Our light carrying capacity goes up plus 15, and it goes up to plus 30 at level 7. I've kind of explained this before, but there are two different types of carrying capacity. There's light and max. Light carrying capacity is when your little bar, and I'll try to remember to show it later in game. You have a little bar on your inventory screen where all your inventory is up above near the top, and it changes colors. When it's green, you're in light carrying capacity, and that's what this affects. It gives you plus 15 or plus 30. It gives you a melee durability loss of minus 25%, so you don't use durabilities on melee weapons as much. Get plus back stamina up to plus 24, and then you gain 5 stamina back on melee kill, which is kind of nice. If you're going to go the powerhouse route, I would suggest taking your next one as discipline. So when you kill somebody with a heavy weapon, you gain 5 stamina back. It's not a whole lot, but it is nice. It does help out. Then we have resourcefulness. Resourcefulness increases carrying capacity, especially for consumables and crossbow bolt recovery. So what this does, it gives you plus 35% search speed, and then plus 1 inventory slots, like I talked before, where you have them deals up at the top above your backpack inventory. It gives you another one of those. So this would increase it up to a max of 4, unless they have some kind of special trait that already gives them one. And then if you choose the one from cardio and this one, you could get 5 of them. Then it increases the item stack size, except for at level 7 by where it goes up to +3, which means like your painkillers you can only ever hold 3 in your inventory. With at level 0 to 6 of the resourcefulness, you can hold 4. At 7, you can hold 6 of them. This also works for stuff like med kits, where you can only hold 1 in your inventory. This increases it to 2 and then to 5 or 4. So yes, it is a big thing if you wish to. This is your looter person. This right here is your looting person right here if you wish to have a lot of inventory to carry things. And then at consumable weight goes down by 70% at level 7. So your weight of your painkillers, your snacks, your energy drinks, all that stuff goes by down. And then increased crossbow bolt recovery is only useful if you're using crossbows, which is great on higher difficulty levels. I would be choosing this pretty much guaranteed all the time. I would have a medicine character getting pathology with resourcefulness, and this allows them to be fully concentrated on plague sample farming. If I ever have to go farm plague samples, I use this character, resourcefulness, pathology, under the medicine tree, and that allows me to get great tons of plague samples. It's very nice on higher difficulties because the lower drop chance of plague samples, and this just lets you get more chances of getting that plague sample with the crossbow bolt recovery. It is a very much a greatly increased deal. As you saw when I was playing, I did get some good return on my crossbow bolts, but this just, you will be pretty much like at 70-80% of getting your crossbow bolts back, where you're like 40 maybe 50% chance right now without that. Scouting, the one thing I've never done. I've never used this skill because I've always wanted one of the other ones more. This increases your scouting range, enemy detection, and gun durability. So you get a 35% search speed, of course. Get an enemy detection range of 15 meters up to 45 meters at level 7. So you can see the enemies around you easier. Your container visibility range goes up, but this is kind of, unless you're trying to loot like Plague Heart territory items, if there's not Plague Heart on the place you're searching, just discover all the areas and they just show up on the map anyway. But if you're going to be doing a lot of looting in higher difficulties where there's a lot more Plague Hearts, then this could become in handy. Gun durability loss per shot is minus 25%, so you lose less durability on your guns when you fire them. And then containers revealed in unsecured buildings. This just means you don't have to reveal the building anymore if you have not explored the whole building. Like before, like I was saying before with the plus 70%, you no longer at level 7 need to, they'll just show up automatically on the map. So it's kind of interesting, but not the greatest thing. This is kind of when this used to be pretty huge before they added that searching the building and then it reveals all the things on the map. But now that that's a thing, this kind of just went bye-bye as a special thing. Really, unless you're looting Plague Hearts, like Plague Heart territory. Let's go to fighting. Okay, this is all about melee. It can be improved by fighting hand to hand, so melee weapons. You can also get the training regimens from the any fighting level gym or the training videos from Lounge 3. It gives you your max health, so it goes up by 4 each level, up to 28. And some survivors might have their fighting below level 7. Do be very aware of that. That can be bad. And then we have endurance, close combat, striking, and sword play. So endurance is just general. It increases your health. Trauma is incurred most slowly, and you have a slam attack. It gives you up to 84 a max health on top of your already 28 max health there. So if you just want a big healthy character, here you go. Injury severity is minus 25% up to minus 50% at level 7. And then turbo plus melee attack gives you a slam attack. You just slam into the and knock them down. I've never really used endurance, so I can't say for sure. I've always chose one of the other ones. So close combat is kind of a special one. It improves the use of small weapons, which are the close combat weapons. No, not the melee weapons, but anything that's labeled close combat. Reduces stamina cost for them, and gives you a shove attack. It can be guaranteed by a trait of randomly available to survivors. Some traits are spec, make your survivor specialized. Unlocks a new set of moves for your survivor when using close combat weapons. That's the big thing. This is what makes close combat weapons viable. Your general close combat contacts will also be faster, which makes it more viable. You can also kick zombies from the back to trip them, and then standing executions from the back are also faster, and these are the benefits. The skill can only provide improved by fighting with close combat weapons, i.e. without a melee weapon equipped. If you want to get to level 7, you have to get it. So you get another plus 28 max health on top of your already plus 28 max health. You execute standing enemies with a knife by just doing that. You melee, so you can just stand in front of an enemy as long as you're, I want to say as long as you're kind of not in a fight. It's Powerhouse that gives you the one where you can be in a fight and then just execute them. But if you do a if you're kind of stealth, I think that's when this becomes available. Melee stamina cost is minus 50% at level 7 for close combat. Enhanced close combat moves, and then they give you the shove attack, which is turbo plus melee attack when you're facing an enemy. That shoves them. It does not always knock them down. To be aware of that. It just shoves them. But eventually, if you shove them enough, that does knock them down. So, yeah. Not the greatest thing, but it does work. Striking, blunt weapons, ground slam attack unlocked. This gives you blunt weapon things, plus 28 health, plus 30% blunt knockdown, so you can knock down enemies either. They get the grand slam cost at minus 66% at level 7, stamina cost, and then turbo plus melee attack gives you a grand slam. Now what this does is it holds your weapon out in front of you and you spin in a circle, so it knocks down multiple enemies. The problem is you're completely vulnerable from the back, from any side that you're not hitting at that point. So do be aware of that, and it does take a while for it to come out. It is kind of slow, so you have to kind of preload this move before you get surrounded. And then the swordplay increases bladed weapon lethality and gives you a leg sweep attack. So this gives you max health here, of course. Blade lethality goes up by 30%. You can execute standing enemies with a blade. So as long as you have a bladed weapon equipped, you can just quick kill things in front of you. And then you get the leg sweep to cripple enemies with a bladed weapon, which is kind of the same thing as Grand Slam. It's just low down on the ground. You just kind of do a sweep in front of you with your bladed weapon, and it can cut off the enemy's legs so they can't get to you quickly. Not very useful against a screamer, because screamers already don't have arms, so, and then you just knock off their legs, they can still scream. So just be aware of that. Don't just try and use this to help yourself out with screamers, unless you just want to knock them down and then execute them. Usually you just execute screamers if you can quickly. Now this is, once you get to the part where you have leg sweep, bladed weapons become a big thing. It gives you so much survivability to say you get snuck up on or something and you're fighting and you got like multiple zombies around you. This can hit multiple zombies as long as they're in a I want to say a 20-degree cone in front of you, it can hit multiple zombies. It's not just a single zombie. So just be aware of that. It turbo plus melee attack, of course. It's a very, very good thing. It's better than the Grand Slam because the Grand Slam has such a long wind-up animation. So I just want you to be aware of that. So yes, just be aware of that. Grand Slam takes a long wind up. Leg sweep comes out a lot quicker, and it actually cripples the enemies where they can't come after you if you just want to not kill the enemy. See, the big thing is this can be helpful on, once you get to this point, it can be helpful on higher difficulties because you can just leg sweep some enemies to cripple them and not kill them, and you don't get the influence for, like, if you run into a big horde and you just want to get away and you can't, you can leg sweep them to cripple a majority of them, if not all of them. And if you don't then kill them, you don't get the plus 20 influence for dealing with a large horde. When you don't get that influence, your hero bonuses don't rise so quickly. You don't get your hero bonuses so quickly. Your standing doesn't go up so quickly. So you don't increase your difficulty of this game so much. So it's another way to play the game. I would, if as a thing, I would go, unless I'm going for a completely stealthy character, early on I go with striking. I would actually pair striking with powerhouse because there's more blunt. I say there's, I don't know for sure, but I say there's more blunt heavy weapons than there are striking heavy bladed heavy weapons. So pairing striking with like blunt, playing striking with powerhouse is a good combination. And then we have shooting, which is all about the range stuff. So shooting improves the firearm handlings and leads to advanced shooting skills. You improve it by shooting at enemies. You can also start shooting training regimens, which is at the shooting range, watching training videos in Lounge 3. And then this is what shooting does. It reduces the firearm sway down to 25%, the recoil down to 25%, and then you get a big bonus of 50% to reload speed. If you're going to use things like revolvers or side shotguns, where they only have a limited number of ammo, like 2 ammo and double barrel shotguns and things like that, then reload speed is a must. Then once you reach level 7, you can choose weapon handling, assault, the best one, and sharpshooting. And I'll tell you why it's the best one here in the video. The weapon handling is just the basic one. It's available for every survivor upon reaching level 7 shooting unless a trait blocks it. And it clearing jammed firearms restores 40 to 50% of the weapon's durability. So weapons can, once they get lower on durability, jam ranged weapons at least. And if you clear it with weapon handling, you get durability back. You get less durability used, up to 25%. You can clear jammed firearms in the field. If not, you have to do it at you have to do it at your bench, at the base, and then jammed firearms very quickly at level 7. So it just makes it where you do it a whole lot quicker out in the field. You get another 25% firearm sway, another 25% recoil, and then you get another 50% reload speed. Assault significantly reduce recoil, kick attack unlocked while aiming. So this gives you ammo stack size up to 50%, a minus 80% firearm recoil. This is for if you're like doing full auto. Is where it comes in handy. Firearm knockdown plus 50% if you're doing a single shot. Actually, this is a great. This is for people who want to use 50 caliber weapons as your main weapon. Another 25% firearm sway reduction, a plus 50% another reload speed, and then while you're aiming, you just push the melee attack. It should be, and you just you'll kick enemies away if they're close to you. Kind of useless because when you're aiming, you don't want enemies next to you. We'll talk about gunslinging last. Sharpshooting improves steadiness, bullet penetration, and dismemberment. So some bounty pack quests have you need to dismember enemies with ranged weapons, and this is the character you would use for that. I mean, you don't have to spec into it for this, but it does help. As you can see, you get up to minus 80% sway. You get a plus 50% bonus at level 7 to dismemberment, 25% recoil, plus another 50% reload speed, and all bullets pierce the enemies. Kind of useless. I mean, every now and then this will kick in and it'll be really, really nice, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. It's only good when you're fighting like tons and tons of enemies, like sieges, but without that, it's just kind of. Then the best thing in the game, gunslinging. You get faster reloads, but then you get aim snap ability unlocked. Once you have the aim snap ability, ferals on that can be killed in one hit, not the blood plague ferals, but just regular ferals, you just own them quickly. They're a joke to you. So gunslinging is the second. It can be either guaranteed by a trait. Some traits also help provide the spec and come with it already on them. So this is the choice that I have when I own my character. Aim snap makes your shots super accurate. It even removes the shotgun spread. Reload speed up to plus 200%. Aim snap costs less stamina at level 7. So aim snap, when you click your button, I think it's the interact button. I can't remember for sure. When you click that button, your character will automatically go to the nearest enemy and aim at their head. It costs stamina, but you can do a rapid fire thing and just clear out up to, like, depending on your stamina level, clear out up to like 3, maybe up to 5 enemies at most. It's a hack. It's a quick hack for aiming at zombies' head and getting people. You get 25% firearm sway, 25% recoil reduction, and you get the snap to targets. The snap to targets, like I said, always aims at the enemy's head. So you have to do a quick deal, because if the enemy is moving, they can move out of the way and you would have to snap again. So if you do a quick shot right after snapping to the enemy, you will most likely kill them if they're moving at a clip to you. So yes, and it does cost stamina. Costs less stamina at level 7, as you can see. But it is the quickest and easiest way to kill zombies in this game. It is unless you're wanting to specialize for some reason in something else, you don't want to have aim snap, then you're going to be changing this, because this is pretty much the best thing. The reload speed alone makes it so great that it's on top of the aim snap is just one of the best things you can get in the game. A lot of people will agree, a lot of people will disagree. It's divided, but they say it's a cheaty thing. A lot of people say it's a cheaty thing. Some people say it's fine, it's intended, and everything like that. So that's that. And that is our skills, our core skills and their specialization. So that is the end of this episode. I want to thank everybody for watching. My ideal build, depending on either if I'm going to be going stealth, I would be going, of course, stealth, then backpacking, close combat, and then gunslinging as my stealth build. If I'm going heavy weapons, powerhouse, resourcefulness, or discipline, depending on how I feel about it. And then either then striking, and then of course gunslinging. Gunslinging is pretty much always the one I choose unless it's not an option for me. And then if I'm going like some kind of sword play, I would be going most likely I would be going sword play. Maybe discipline, could go resourcefulness, and then the backpacking for sure, and then gunslinging there as well. So that's pretty much how I build any of my characters if those options are available. If I don't have those options, I'll just choose what I feel would help me at the time. So I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll come back next time with more information on various things with State of Decay. So we just talked about that. I think the thing we're going to do next before we go to plague hearts and things like that, because that's going to be one of the upcoming videos, is I think I'm going to do the bounty broker here, so we can talk about it and its various packs. I don't know if I'll go over everything that the packs open. I think I'll just hit some highlights of the best things to get out of the bounty packs that are available. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Leave a comment if you want, ask questions, you know, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.